What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Sports Challenge for Kids from University Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 plus. It'll take about, 20 to 30 minutes to play. And in Sports Challenge for Kids, you're going to be playing tennis, you're going to be playing soccer, you're going to play miniature versions of basketball, and you're going to be answering trivia questions, trying to make your way around a basketball/soccer court. Not quite sure what that's about. It actually has a really cool looking board with actual soccer nets and a basketball hoop. It's got some interesting trivia questions, but does that equate to a good game? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Sports Challenge for Kids. So first and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule sheet. One page, double-sided, black and white. It's got a couple pictures, illustrations, and it's pretty well done. It should have you up and running pretty smoothly. Also, it's a very simple game, so I can give you the gist right now. So in Sports Challenge, what's going to happen is you are going to be playing various different sports and trying to answer trivia questions about various different sports in order to get to the finish line. If you can do that, then you will win the game. So when you first start the game, you're going to start over here, all the way over here. You're going to put your pawn there. You're going to set up the board with this soccer net and this basketball hoop right here. You're going to pick whether or not you were playing with the blue side of trivia questions or the green side of trivia questions, even though they're about the same difficulty, it says. And then you are going to be on your way. So how this works is when you first start the game, you're going to pick a sport that you're going to try and play against someone else. And I'll show you how to play all the 3 different sports now. So if you play basketball, it's just you, and you can either shoot behind the 3-point line or you can shoot behind this bench right here, which I guess would be half court if you're feeling like, behind the foul line and behind the bench if you're feeling like Steph Curry. And if you get it in, you're going to move that many spaces forward. So if you're behind the foul line, you got to move 1 space forward. And if you score from back here, you're going to move 2 spaces forward. So look at there. I failed miserably. I don't move. That's the end of my turn. Hooray. So now the green guy will go. And he's going to try and play soccer. So how soccer works is you are going to be trying to score on the goalie over here. So the goalie is going to be the other player. They're going to put 2 fingers down like that, which camera angle is really not going to work well on this. And then you can either kick from behind the bench or you can kick from behind the foul line all the way. So we'll kick from behind the bench, and it was blocked. So since it was blocked by the goalie, and the goalie can't move their fingers, they have to just stay in place. That means the goalie actually gets to move forward. So a miss from the bench means that the goalie would get to move 2 spaces. So yellow would get to go boom, boom. It says good shot, good shoot, goal, shoot, move ahead 1 space. And then boom. It also says pick a card, but since it's not my turn, I would not actually do that. But now it goes back to my turn, and it says pick a card. So for pick a card, the opposing player is going to take the top card, and then they're going to pick which one of the questions they would like to ask. So it's odd or even, sports, shorts, rhyme time, score, more. There's a variety of different types of questions. So they might ask the odd or even, the number of different strokes in swimming's individual medley. Is it odd or even? Because that's a very difficult question, so you have a 50-50 chance to answer it. I don't know if I would guess yes or no. Actually, let's see if I can guess one of these. So sports shorts. Which type of skates has longer blades? Speed skates, figure skates, or roller skates? I'd say roller skates, and I would be wrong. But if you're correct, then you get to move forward. If you're incorrect, then you stay put right there. So let's just pretend that I got it correct. So I move forward 2 spaces, boom, boom, and then we would play a game of soccer or pick a card. So how this works is you get your initial movement, and then you can get potentially 1 more movement on your turn, and then after that, you don't get to move anymore on your turn. The last game that you can play is tennis, and how the tennis works is you're actually going to be playing cards like these. So you start off with a serve/return, and then you're going to compare where you serve/return. So you're both going to pick a card at the same time, and we'll see what happens. So green is serving to me, and let's see. So I would have I would have successfully returned it because, boom, I would have hit it right back to him, which means at this point, now we would do this again until someone is not able to return the serve or the hit over the net. So it's going to be like this little back and forth where you're picking cards, trying to keep getting the net back and forth. And if you win, then you get to move forward, and if you lose, well, then you just stay put. But anywho, yeah, you're going to continue to play basketball, soccer, the other one, tennis, and then answer trivia questions. And if you're the first person to get past the finish line, then you will be the winner of the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how Sports Challenge for Kids works. Alright then, Sports Challenge for Kids from University Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side. The game has some really difficult trivia questions. Like, some of these are just really hard. Now, they try to make it easier by only giving you a couple options or making it odd or even or true or false, which means that you're going to have a much higher percentage chance of succeeding. But still, some of these questions, and I'm a grown man who loves sports, are really difficult to answer. Like, I figure they would have dumbed them down a little bit so kids, you know, because it's a very different experience from getting something right because you knew the answer and getting something right because you guessed it. And this game, I don't feel like it's going to provide kids that many opportunities to get questions right because they legitimately know the answer, which is kind of dumb considering it's aimed at kids. Also, on the con side, the mini games will get repetitive after a while. It's just, oh, I'm trying to throw the basketball in. Oh, we're doing the soccer thing again. Oh, we're doing the tennis thing again. And I would say the tennis is the weakest of the three. You know, I really do like the actual trying to throw the basketball in and the goalie thing because that's actually kind of cool. But the tennis one is just kind of like this little mini game that just, I don't know. It was all the kids' least favorites to play as well. Speaking of which, it's also 2 to 4 players for no particular reason. I'm not quite sure why you couldn't play it with more players, because your turns go by very briskly, so I'm not sure why this isn't bumped to a 5 or 6 player game, so very restricted player count, even though you could obviously just use any other kind of pawns or markers to move other people's pieces around the board, so you could play with more than 4 players if you really wanted to. Another comment I have with this game is the children lose interest in the game relatively fast once they realize how difficult the questions are. And then it just evolves down to the fact that the kids that like sports really just want to read the trivia cards because, you know, it's kind of interesting knowledge on there. And the kids that don't like sports just want to play, you know, throwing the basketball into the hoop or kicking the soccer ball into the thing. And then they start doing it from across the table and across the room. And the soccer ball gets lost. And Mr. Force has to yell at them because they need to take care of the games. But that's your mileage may vary thing. That's a your mileage may vary kind of thing. That might not happen, especially if you're not, you know, introducing this in a classroom. Any other cons I have of the game? No, moving on to the pros. Sports Challenge, I'm pretty sure this is out of print, but if you can find it used at a thrift shop, and if you have kids that like sports, I think this might be one you want to check out because it does provide you with a little bit of fun. Now, that being said, I would not pay more than $2 for this game. So that's a very big caveat there, that I would not pay much money for this game. But it does have some interesting trivia on there. It's got a lot of trivia questions. They're double-sided. There's 2 in each one. It's a big stack of trivia. The fact that there's the 3 mini games in there, even though the tennis is a dud, is fun, and the kids are going to enjoy playing the little soccer one. And I've had kids come up with their own versions of the game, and it's stretched into like Lego playtime. And, you know, it's not a good game. It's not. Just nuts and bolts, it's not a good game. But for the target market, for kids who like sports, I think they are going to enjoy this, even though those questions are way too difficult. So in the end, I can say if you have kids that like sports, and if you can find this for dirt cheap, then yeah, give it a whirl. Worst case scenario, you got some fun little trivia questions. You got some kids who can have some fun with this little mini soccer net. But for everybody else, this is a hard pass. If it's more than $2, I'm going to pass on this one. If you don't have kids, I'm going to pass on this one. If your kids don't like sports, I'm going to pass on this one. So, very niche game, but still, it's okay. It says on the box, yeah, never mind. It says on the box, like, it's so good it'll make kids eat vegetables or some crap like that. I don't know if that's the truth, but still, it's not the worst game in the world, but it's definitely not good. Sports Challenge for Kids, one that I can recommend to a very small subsection of the population. But for that subsection, yeah, give it a whirl if you can find it for cheap. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Do you like when I review, really weird, obscure games like this? Because I have so many games in my game room, and I made a vow that I will never, ever, ever get rid of these old, busted, crummy games until I actually review them. So, you know, I'm going to review everything I have in here, but should I get more of these old school style games? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.